Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Canada's Garage, Peter here. What we have is a 2015 Mercedes A-Class. She's a 1.5 or 6 petrol, I don't rightly know. I'm not bothered about engine at this point in time. We've an ABS issue. I'll stick up a photo of what the girl owned this thing and sent me of the messages she was getting on the dash. She has a friend has an OBD code reader that Bluetooths to the phone or whatever it may be. He said there might be an issue with an ABS speed sensor. Take all that with a grain of salt, but it's information for us, so maybe from there we'll figure out something. I'm going in, and first thing I have is 3 fault codes to do with the right rear axle RPM sensor. So the first code is sitting down here, C050600, component L6/4, right rear axle RPM sensor has a mechanical fault. Very descriptive for us. Next one is C051100, the signal from component L6/4/4, right rear axle RPM speed is faulty. And then we have C050D00, component L64/64, right rear axle RPM signal sensor, or the signal lines to the component are defective. So I suppose, I don't know where this is going to take us, but we'll go and we'll have a scout anyway and see. So it's kind of saying we have a mechanical fault, kind of saying that we have a faulty signal coming from it. It just says the component is faulty. And then here we're saying that maybe the wires are defective. What I did have, I was able to go, I don't have it now, and apologies, my screen was actually dirty on the scan tool from, I think I was polishing something or something one day with a spatters of compound on it. So I cleaned it, and when I cleaned it then I lost it. But in data, when I went into my data and I went into wheel speeds, yes, work, what I did is I went to move the car, and when I did move the car, it was nice at that point to have it, what we'd say if we have 0 kilometers an hour, 0 kilometers an hour, same. When I moved, or while I moved, only ever so slightly, sorry, I'm releasing the handbrake and a few bits and pieces like that, and the cable from my scanner is very easy to get. What I got out of one of them, and I wouldn't say I'm not going to be able to show it now, I am moving, but what I got, and I haven't got it since, even on a test drive, I had a big jump in my engine speed on my right rear. Right rear is here. No big difference, 4.2, 4.1, 4.1, 4.2, and that's the max that they're reaching. But I saw the right hand rear, which is here, I saw that shoot up to 155 kilometers an hour while the thing was only doing something like that when driving backwards and forwards. But that I haven't caught on camera since I cleaned my screen, so apologies for that. And as I said, I'll stick up the images and stuff of what we were getting here on the instrument cluster. Not that it really matters too much, but we get in, and I think the first thing we're going to do, we'll do a little fast visual. Look at the sensor. What I've seen happen a lot is the tone ring, we're going to call it for now, or the pickup ring for the ABS sensor in the hub. The bearings, I have seen to kind of degrade, the rubber start to flake off the outside, and that flipping of the rubber could affect the signal. Also just kind of rust underneath and makes them get lumpy and bumpy, and the air gap between the sensor and the ring can get bad. But we'll have a look at that. We'll have a look at the wiring maybe coming to it, just a fast visual. So we'll look, you know, from the sensor to where it mounts to the chassis, and maybe a block connector around any water ingress or any of that cracking. That's where we start. See where we go from there, and shouldn't be that hard of a problem. Hopefully we'll be in and out of this quite easily and quite fast. Okay guys, my 2 front wheels are turning, so you can see a little bit because the car was actually running. I don't know if you can see. So that's these 2 here. These are the rear left, rear right. Visually, I just took a little peek up there, and I see the ABS sensor is sticking in here at the front of the back wheel. When I saw that, I pulled the wheel off just to get a little bit of a better visual on it. When I did, apologies, I'm moving around. When I did, I actually pull down the wing liner. Why did I pull down the wing liner? It was just very easy to get it off. So we'll power till 10 socket and boom, boom, boom. This thing was out of it within minutes. And what I do see is I see that the wire from the sensor, which is sitting in here, is very clean cut all the way up and around. Maybe we have a little watermark here, but it's going up and it's going internal to the car. So unless there's any little green monsters inside in the car that, you know, like a little mouse or that eating, I'm saying law of averages, our wire is very well protected up here. Now I have videos where I've been caught on this wire breaking internally. So what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to show on camera now, because, well, I don't know if I'm going to try and show on camera. I have nothing to show really, other than right now we have 0 speed at the back wheel, and I'm just going to try and pull out of my wire and see if I can get any speed. Would I have, if I had any kind of a brake, you know, inside in this, would I see any kind of a change? Again, all you'll be doing is chasing after, sorry, a glary kind of a screeny shot. I'm going to put this down here on the wheel, and I can see it from here. And I'm just pulling at, see if I can see any change in wheel speed. At this point in time, I have no change from any of the pulling that I am doing. So 2 minutes of pulling, no change in speed there. So we get out our sensor, as we said, that sits in here, if we can see it, and we'll see if there's any damage on the wheel bearing itself. Okay guys, I've taken out our speed sensor. I'm going to try and get a light in there for you. So speed sensor come out of there, quite handy, quite easy. Everything seems to be relatively straightforward and clean and tidy in there. On a visual inside, I can see nothing wrong in there, or at least nothing too much. So I've taken out the sensor itself. Sensor itself I have hanging there. Why have I it hanging there? I'm just going to show you what test I'm going to do. There's no scopes or anything involved here. I'm trying to keep it, dare I say, kind of straightforward and easy. It'd be probably nice. I'll pop up and I'll pop down. Okay, so we're gonna. There is my, as you've seen already. Get my light. Just the light of the ceiling give me the reflection. As you've seen already, we can close off the rest of them actually. The only one we're concerned about is the right rear. Close that. Close that. Okay, so the only thing we're actually bothered about now is the signal from that. So that's the wheel speed signal on the right rear. Okay, where we're at, where we have the problem with, and what I'm going to do, that there is where it's picking up the signal. So I'm just going to run my, I've done this before and I've questioned my test process and all of these things. I'm running a magnet over it. So this is just, dare I say, big long flexible magnet thing that I use to pick up bolts and stuff like that. When you can actually see here, when I run over it, I get or create a signal. I'll stay down here again. I'm going to put my hand up and I'll run it over, okay? So right now, I'm going to be running over that. You can see it. Now, sorry, I'm trying to look at the camera. That's me creating that little signal, okay? So it's not scoping, it is only using live data on the scan tool, on that speed sensor. So I can create a signal here. Now we could, because we had wheel speed already. As we saw, just we had a glitch, or you didn't see it, but I saw it where it jumped up to 155 kilometers per hour down here. Now, what am I going to do? Next little test is going to be to see if there is anything wrong inside in the hole at the back of the bearing. So I'm using my little Borescope here, okay, my little thing. I have a camera on the side of it, as you can see there, but it is about, dare I say, an inch back. I tried putting that in, but it's not going in deep enough for me to see anything. So I'm going to use the top camera, okay? So I'm going to turn the camera until I actually have it kind of see it. Turn the camera until I can see the hub. That's the only variable I'd find on these things, that the camera could be anywhere around and you get puzzled. So I'm holding it that the actual hub, two or three cameras trying to keep them all into one shot. But anyway, here we are. So I'm going to go in, and I'm going to go in now at this point and direct into that hole. I'm looking at my phone while also trying to look at the camera here. Now when I go in, what I cannot see, guys, and I've tried to do a bit of fidgeting and stuff, I cannot see anything turning in there. I can see nothing at all turning in there. So that part that's in the inside, while I'm turning the wheel, is not turning. And as I said, I was trying to see bits on the side there where I'd like to see something in here turning. I had one of the chaps working for me a while ago, holding and trying to look at that. And again, I can see nothing turning in there. As I said there, the one thing about these borescopes, they can be quite hard to get a visual image on them. You will get an image, but it's very hard to make sense of. So for now, I suppose the moral of the story is that I can see nothing wrong in here, in the actual hole where the wheel bearing is with the borescope. I am getting a signal off of this, but that's not saying it's not intermittently dropping out or giving us a problem. I can't find an issue with my wires at this point in time. The next thing that I'm going to do for me, just as a proof for me and to know where I'm going, we'll have to go in the boot and have a look probably. But I'm only going to disconnect this sensor here and see what the default number is here on the actual scan tool. So I'm going to try, maybe I do it while you're on camera there. I'm going to try and pull a little leg out if I can. One or single-handedly. Maybe I won't be able to do it, but probably not. I would like if I had something to press against it. Maybe I'll have to go and do this. Yeah, oh, there she goes. Okay, so that is the wire that follows or leads down to the actual sensor. Now what I'm actually noticing here, okay, so we have invalid signal I'm getting now, but no change in my numbers. So my default number is not 155 kilometers per hour. Okay, I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you. Sometimes I've seen it on Fords where if a wire is broken or open, it gives it open circuit, it'll give me a default number of 255 kilometers or miles per hour, or whatever it may be. What I'm familiar with anyway is the kilometers here. But okay, so that's not giving me a strange number. What we're going to do from here maybe is get into the boot. We'll do a little visual and just see, is there any issue with wires in here, and then we might go to the ABS module up the front and just see if we have any issue with wiring up there. Maybe after that point, it's kind of I wouldn't say a funny or a catch-22. What now you have to weigh up is, every mechanic has to do it. How much time do they spend on hunting the problem down, an intermittent problem? Or do you at a point, like maybe what's going to happen here if I don't see anything wrong, call a part? Just purely to save time and get on to the next job, because I have a yard full of stuff out here, workshop full of stuff, I have cars all over the place. But this, someone would say maybe a negative if you go along and make the wrong call and it doesn't work. But what I probably kind of do a bit is, if I call something and get it in and it doesn't fix the problem, well, I know now that I have to go on that little bit further, even though I've given a price on it. Yeah, I kind of price stuff and give myself a little bit of leeway sometimes if, like this, there's any little bit of doubt at all. Sometimes it's hard to sell time for testing. Sometimes people are not a bother. This one probably wouldn't be, should be sound as a pound. Maybe we should get the scope out and go and have a look, but we'll get inside and get up above and have a look again, okay? Can't see anything missed down here anyway. Bar there's something happened with the wheel bearing and I can't see it. Keep on going. This might have been a strange call, guys, but for me, I just looked up there, took a look. I had 4 bolts holding on the back bearing. Can't see anything moving in here, which I'm concerned. I've got caught too many times on wheel bearings. Everything else is inside in the car and are up at ABS modules. So I'm either calling to pull the actual bearing disc caliper and holder off why I got my Milwaukee gun, was able to get out at 2 caliber ones with that little universal, with the universal head on it. With that, I was just able to get my gun up and boom, 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 boom. Now, up at this point in time, this whole lot went to fall off. And that's what I'm after choosing, to get in here and try and see something. So anyway, I'm going to leave you go to get this held some way, right? So I can see or do something or examine, okay? Oh, says the man, the plot thickens. Modern day cars, he says. Right, anyway, after disconnecting the sensor, what I got has an open circuit or short circuit to ground. I believe I had the rest of them. Has a mechanical failure, is faulty, or the signal lines to the component are defective. Now, when I couldn't see anything moving in here, you don't see anything moving in there. Honestly, this is the first time I've seen this. It's where a sensor sticks in through the hole, comes in here. Actually, I get it out so I can show you the way it would stand up against. Come on, please. It's just whatever way I have it hanging, it's kind of snagged there. Apologies. I wasn't expecting to do this, but when I start talking, my mind starts changing. Right, so the sensor actually sits in here. Okay? Now, again, it could be taking the signal from the very top of it or from that surface. And I believe it's that surface here that sits up against this surface with maybe a millimeter or so of an air gap in there. Okay? But the variable which I've never seen before is that there is no external movable parts. So this is tin, steel, whatever you want to call it. And whatever the heck is moving inside that. So once the seal that's on the outside is good and intact and keeping grease into the bearing and weather out, whatever's in here never gets touched by water or corrosion. So the age-old problem that I'm seeing on Passats and Golfs and A4s and all this kind of crack is not going to happen here, potentially. Bar whatever's in there has been affected by grease or something in there, but the only way I can see in here is to take off this cap. Now, if I take off this cap, it could damage it. So the path that I thought I was going to go in and find something, I'm going to change my mind at this point in time. Coolidge, he says. Right, so we'll have to get into the boot, because even if we're going to be looking at scopes or any of that crack, it has to be from inside in the car rather than out here, because all of this is protected, covered, whatever it may be. We'll get in, we'll have a look. It's the first time I've ever seen this. So hey, we live and learn. So I cannot, looking at a scope and turn my wheel to see a signal, I cannot, without, well, I suppose I shouldn't even be here. Maybe I should be scoping and all that. I'm just trying to do it maybe to show without getting into the scope. So anyway, we'll drive on. Okay guys, I was over and I was just grabbing a few bits here. I was going to go testing. And when I walked back, lo and behold, cars idling there. But you can actually see here 86.9 kilometers per hour it hit. Now I spun the wheel, the hub actually, because I don't even have the wheel on it. I spun the hub, I just stuck them 6 bolts back in, and after spinning the hub I got a couple of kilometers of a change, but then you can see where it hit 89 kilometers per hour. Okay. Anyway, we're seeing it, so we don't have a default number. Actually, what I did do, and maybe this, I'm going to record again, okay? Maybe we might see this. I'm going recording. What I did do is I pulled off a little bit of stuff in here. Hard to see with the headlight. Sometimes I create shadows more than not. There's 2 wires here, and the 2 wires, sorry, I'm looking over my scan too. Those 2 wires are going to the ABS sensor. The other 2 heavy ones are for the electric handbrake caliper. You know, I was doing a little bit of wiggling I gave them a wiggle, these wires, and but I believe it was after that, because I gave them a wiggle and then I walked away. When I walked away, now you can see with my wiggle going on now, I'm getting no change in my wheel speed. And I'm still wiggling at this point in time, so there's nothing exciting going on. But why did I get the change just when I went to walk away? I was getting set up just to see my signature, from the actual phone. We'll do the same again. Spin. Actually, now that I'm spinning, it's choosing to ignore. Now, I did clear fault codes there a little second ago. You can see me very clearly now. Hi guys. What I'm presuming, so as I said there, we have 0 speed. I'll spin my hub. What it saw, actually, the thing looking, you see it on top right hand corner, it saw invalid signal. Okay, get out of here. I'm going to see what codes we have, because I cleared codes. Isn't it exciting? Mechanical. We're going nuts and see what the oh, she's gone. I was going to say the silly thing says. This is about the right front wheel speed sensor now. Fault code is stored in the brake electronics control module when the output of the speed sensor is not as expected. The code relates to an electrical signal from the wheel speed sensor. The module uses the wheel speed information to manage the anti-lock brake system. The signal can also be used for traction control, electronic stability program, and tire pressure monitoring where applicable. Possible causes: component, ECM, or wiring. Exit out, and that was to do with the front right, but here we're still back on our right rear. I'm going to, again, because this is ignoring the signal that's coming from this now, I'm going to clear codes. Maybe it was ignoring it, and when I went wiggling my wires hard up there, maybe it didn't want to look at it. Stationary. Right rear, stationary. That wheel is not turning. Right rear. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm going to do right now, and which is, it's doing it kind of faster. We're going to do for the wheel speed left rear as well, just for cross reference while you're looking. See that? Wow, interesting. I'm going to go crackers, not crackers. There we're seeing 20 kilometers an hour. Interesting. There is no wheel turning, and this thing is, dare I say, sitting right beside it. It's probably become a long-winded video. Maybe sometimes the long videos can be long-winded. Anyway, what I'm going to do as a nosiness thing here, I suppose, headlight, I'm going to do a fast switcheroo on these sensors because they're so easy to get in at. I'm going to pull off the other one, put it over here, see does this happen. There's a code, I got a code back quite handy, quite fast. I'm going to do a switcheroo on it and just see what we see. Just proof in the pudding. One sensor here, one sensor there. Right, 4 minutes past. Wing liner horsed kind of down off of that side, and I'm going to get this one from this side back up and in and just swap around and see what the story is. Okay guys, but we're going to see this faster. What we have invalid signal on both of them. I have the sensors lobbed in, they're not even bolted in at this point in time. They're only just sitting there where they, can you see really where they should be? Wires hanging off. I don't want to bolt in any of them in case any of the two of them are going to be wrong, but because of these invalid signals, we're going to get back We're gonna, if you want to look at fault codes, I'd say I've open circuit for both. So open circuit. Oh yeah, busy bee. For the left and the right. Okay, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna clear. The codes. Yes. I don't know if any of you guys find the gloves hard to wear in the summer when it's quite warm. I do be anyway. I know the hands will be dirty, but try. Ain't that life? Data. Wheel speeds. Come on, baby. It's not. I don't believe now. It's scanty. It was me more than anything else. I'm going to look at both back because we, as I said there, we have the sensors swapped around. We'll give it now a spin. Okay, that's the right hand rear with the sensor off of the left hand rear now. Okay, so that has gone up and has gone down. Really over. Okay. I'm get to see this one being turned at this point in time. Oh no, he said the problem is gone. Oh yes, the problem's fixed. Probably not fixed. You might be able to see it right now, but it is going to come at some stage. I may have to squeeze back up a few yokes, maybe leave the covers off it and give it a drive. I am now twisting the driver's side rear, but I'm just looking to see this little glitch that we were seeing earlier on. And at this point, I am not seeing it. What I'm trying to do is debate. Let me go slow. I've only moved one item. Why have I only moved one item? Because purely I don't want any more than one going, because if this decides to throw a fall cut up again for any which side or anything, I want to know what I'm going chasing after. To be honest with you, I don't think it's going to be bearing any, definitely. You don't need to see this. Maybe when I catch a glitch or something happening, I'll go back onto the camera, okay? Okay guys, I actually put back in these two sensors. I couldn't get the glitch or the dropout, whatever you call it, to happen while I was there, but I brought the car down on the ground. I was pulling out for a test drive and I could hear something strange happening in the back. And then when I looked here, lo and behold, on my live data was running while I was going driving home, and I was locking the office and stuff. But lo and behold, it's on the left hand rear. This is on the right hand rear. Nothing happening there. We'll go back and we're going to go back anywhere. Just start recording again and just see, is there anything happening now? We're stopped. There's a very, very small thing happened there, and it moved from stationary to. So let's put that happening on the left hand. The variable is here now that this is on the left hand rear, and we were on the right hand rear. You had all these problems, and there is nothing happening at this point in time now. Again, it went from stationary. You can see it actually. Wow, cool. Anyway, right, just as a protocol again, no scopes running in it. This was moving the sensor from the right hand rear to the left hand rear. Easy peasy, says the man, but sure, as normal, all these things are, none of these things are as easy as you'd always set them out to be. But look at that, isn't that nuts? Oh wow, we just hit 120 mile an hour, kilometer, sorry, an hour there at this point in time. That is just pretty cool. And especially when I wasn't able to pinpoint from the actual bearing and that it was wrong with that. Yeah, that is just so cool to see there, nothing happening. And we are Stationary. Still happening there. Anyway, guys. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Hope any of my hints and tips are handy or easy, good to pick up on, or whatever it may be. Please like and subscribe, and I will talk to ye in the next cartoon, guys. 2015, A-class Merc, ABS problems, intermittently, nutcase, speed. Can I have a look at fault codes before we get out of it and just see? And we're away then at that point. Whoa! Interesting. We have no fault codes, but we can see there's something actually going to go wrong there. Okay. So anyway, look, I'm not going to pay any attention to that. If we're stagnant and we're doing 120 mile an hour on the left-hand rear wheel at this point now, we have an issue in that ABS sensor or the wiring or something anyway. But ABS sensor. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you next cartoon. Thanks.